Hey, it's Matt from Art of the Image, and I've got fantastic news. The Canon M50 is coming in soon, within the next week or two. I've got a selection of lenses to go with it. I am going to try out the 1122, I think that's the one it is, the EOS M wide angle, and we're going to get the M50 in, start reviewing it, start shooting with it, and show you some of the native M lenses as well as the EOS adapter, and we're going to use some of the EFS lenses like the Canon 50mm f1.8 STM on the M50 to see how it works with the adapter. Super excited to get in and play with that. So as excited as I am about the M50 coming in, I also get a lot of questions about should I buy the Canon 80D or even a 77D, or should I look at an M series camera such as the new M50? Now, if we're looking at the M50 versus the 80D, and I've reviewed the 80D before and the previous 70D, and actually all the way back, 60D, 50D, and so on. However, if we're looking at the two of those, current lineup, we don't have a 90D yet, so the 80D is in the current lineup versus the M50, the latest and greatest M series camera from Canon, and the only APS-C camera from Canon, I should point out, to shoot 4K so far. So very interesting offering, and I think people are wondering, should I still look at an 80D or should I be going over to mirrorless? Should I be getting the M50? And it's a good question because there's a lot of excitement about the M50, and the M50 offers a lot of new tech such as the 4K, and it makes you wonder, is the 80D still a good offering? Well, I went through the specs looking at this in detail to think, at first glance, I still think the 80D is a great camera, and it is. However, with the M50 on the market, would I still buy the 80D? And basically, I come up with 10 points when I went through the specs, 10 reasons why you would want to buy the M50 over the 80D. First and foremost, we have focus peaking. The M50, the new M50 features focus peaking. The Canon 80D doesn't. There's no comparison here. One has it, one does not. So that's a point in favor of the M50. The M50 also has 4K video, as I mentioned, and you've only got 1080 on the 80D. So big advantage for the M50. I will put the caveat in there that the 4K is a little bit crippled. The dual pixel AF does not work with the 4K video option, nor does it shoot at a very pleasing crop factor. It's something like 2.56 if memory serves times crop factor in 4K. However, we'll take it. It's the first camera from Canon with 4K in an APS-C sensor. Built-in Bluetooth, we have it in the M50. We don't have it in the 80D. The body is thinner and lighter. You're looking at about 58 millimeters versus 78 millimeters on the 80D for the thickness of the body. It's also lighter. The size itself is significant, but the weight is even more significant. Next, we look at the kit lens. It's a wider angle kit lens. It's a 24 versus 29 millimeter. So we're looking at a wider field of view from the kit lens. You capture more of the scene. That is taking into account the 15 to 45 mil kit lens on the M50, applying the 1.6 crop factor, and you have a 24 millimeter field of view at the wide end. Obviously, with the 80D, the widest kit lens is 18 millimeters, and then you're looking at a 29 millimeter field of view. So fairly significant on the wide end. Next up, faster shooting. The M50 can shoot JPEGs and RAW at 10 frames per second. And that's a fairly significant improvement over the 6.8 frames per second in JPEG on the 80D, and I believe it's 6.7 RAW on the 80D. So basically, 6.8 tops on the 80D versus the 10 that we're getting out of the newer, faster Canon M50. The M50 also offers slow motion video. And again, this is not a comparison item because it's just not available on the 80D. So you have it on the M50, you don't have it on the 80D. We've also got a higher extended ISO. In other words, we've got a better rated ability to shoot in low light. This will remain to be seen if it is actually proves to be so in testing, but we do have the ability to go to 51,200 ISO versus 25,600 on the 80D. So you're getting, an improved higher ISO rating, ability to push the camera higher in lower light situations on the M50 versus the 80D. And last but not least, the M50, even though it's newer and has all these advantages over the 80D, is actually less expensive. It's currently listing at $899 on Canon's website, whereas the 80D is listing at $999. Now, I'll pause there for a minute because I am aware that you can get better deals than that, whether you're looking at refurbs or sales or just some better pricing perhaps on Amazon, bringing it much closer in price. But the fact of the matter is, at the moment, it is still listing at $100 less on the Canon website for the M50 than the 80D. So there you go, folks. That's 10 reasons why you should consider, why I would consider if I'm looking at the M50 over the 80D. Buying the M50 instead of the 80D. Now, in all reality, you may be able to get the 80D used or refurbed, as I said, at a lower price. That may influence your decision. For me, the fact that the M50 has all these advantages, and probably the biggest one to me is the key being the fact that it'll do 4K video if required, despite its limitations about the extreme crop factor as well as the lack of dual pixel autofocus. In 4K, it still has 4K. So to me, the camera to buy between these two is the M50. That's the way I will go in this situation. I want to throw it back to you guys though. Is there an advantage of the M50 that you think I missed, that I didn't point out? Is there a reason you would buy the 80D over the M50? Let me know in the comments below which way you would go and why. Would you purchase the M50 if you're looking at the M50 and the 80D? Is that the camera you'd look at buying right now? And perhaps what are the most significant reasons why that you would do that? What's most important to you? Curious to hear what you guys have to say on this one. A lot of people are asking about the M50 and in relation to should they buy it against an 80D or 77D. And in this case, I just wanted to judge it against the 80D because it's always been a strong offering and one of my favorite cameras in the Canon lineup. Leave your feedback in the comments below. Looking forward to seeing what you have to say, and stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.